The speaker is Dr. K.P. Suresh. He is a scientist, is a principal scientist at the National Institute of Veterinary Epidemiology and Disease Information. He's going to talk on the topic of non-parametric tests, key principles. May I request Dr. K.P. Suresh to deliver his lecture, please?
Yes. Good evening, sir. Everybody, I am going to speak about non-parametric test, how to implement. Sir, previous speaker already spoken about how to use a parametric test. Here, basic only thing what I want to tell that in the statistics we use only variance. We look for the standard deviation. Generally, we know that standard deviation is a more important. Generally, when the standard deviation is a parameter variability, we call it as a variability. When the variability changes from parameter to parameter. For example, if you measure serum creatinine, there is a stable variability. When you go for a TNF alpha or IL-6, there is a wide variability among the patients or a normal population. So accordingly, we need to estimate the sample size. The variability matters for us. Any data, if you look into that, what is the variability, you look into that. So based on the variability, we choose whether parametric test or non-parametric test. When you have to use non-parametric test, we know that parametric test already we thought we can use a non-parametric test when the data is in metric term. When the data is in metric measured, I will explain in the data format afterwards once the slide is over. So these are the non-parametric tests which are distribution pre-test where no assumptions are made. They are maybe quantitative or qualitative. Sir, for example, if you use serum creatinine as a parameter, it's a metric data where standard deviation, most of the times you can refer articles where you can see standard deviation less than the always mean. That time we can assume that stable variability. So we could go to the, if you take this one, TNF alpha, there if you compute mean and standard deviation, mean plus or minus standard deviation, where standard deviation definitely it will be more than the mean. There unstable standard deviation or variability in the parameter. It is naturally happens. So what to do in that conditions? When the two parameters are there, for example, TNF alpha is a metric data. We have to use a parametric test, but the standard deviation is very high. What to do at the time? It is not following the normal distribution at the time. So we have to stabilize the variability. That means standard deviation you have to standardize first. There are methods for standardizing the data by square root. You have to change the distribution by square root transformation, logarithm transformation, like that you will take and stabilize the standard deviation. After that, you apply the parametric test. That's the way we do that. For example, serum creatinine, if you are or you take GFR, if you compute a mean and standard deviation, generally any biological scientist, they try to doctors, they try to do the mean and any data comes mean and standard deviation they compute. Mean, they will see mean plus or presentation will be done mean plus or minus standard deviation. When you look at mean plus or minus standard deviation is very, very important in statistics. If standard deviation goes more than the mean, then you assume that some problem in the data, either outliers or data itself is behaving like that, something like that you have to think like. If standard deviation is less than the mean, yes, it is going to be good data, is stable data. That means variability is not there. So the variability as such, it varies from parameter to parameter. It's called nature of parameter. Nature of parameter, for example, if you take a birth weight, nature of parameter is stable. If you take a birth weight of newborn babies, standard deviation will be less than the mean always, less than the mean. So how to test the normality of the distribution? Suppose you many questions, many students, many doctors give me data, ask me whether data follows normal distribution or not. So if you take, sir, if you take only 10 data, 10 newborn data, measure the birth weight and apply some statistical techniques to measure the normal distribution, you may not get a normal distribution because small data. But data is metric, it is normal. So when you say 100 newborn babies, measure that they are 20 or 30, apply the statistical techniques, you will get normal distribution. Because larger the sample, data will become automatically attains the normal distribution. Smaller, you will not. So when the normal distribution is not followed, doesn't mean that we have to go to non-parametric test. Non-parametric test has to be used when parametric test cannot be used. When non-parametric test has to be used, when parametric test cannot be used, they are the more powerful tests. Non-parametric tests are not powerful tests. When TNF alpha, if you measure, standard deviation is more. So it is a when you apply the normality test, like many column ground, stream ground test is there. This kind of test if you use, it will come. It is not normal. Then try to apply the non-parametric test. They are less powerful. They will try to give the false negative errors. That time it is your p-value will be incorrect. Therefore, you have to carefully see the data. What type of data you have to use non-parametric test. It is a last resort. You have to try all possible effort to use parametric test only. How to parametric? Data is metric. You have to see whether data is measured in years, metric, measured in mg per dl, metric. For example, any other data, any units are measured, metric, it is a metric data. Therefore, you have to use parametric test. When the, for example, if you use this one, cytokines like IL-6 or anything, they are also metric data. But when you look at a data distribution, it is a highly skewed. That means standard deviation, when you compute standard deviation, it goes more than the mean. At that time, there is the stable variance is not there. At the time, you have to stabilize the variance. So for that purpose, first you have to stabilize the variance, then again apply the parametric test. Still after stabilizing variance, transformation you have to do, data transformation. If you are not able to do data transformation, after doing the, even after doing the transformation, you are not able to stabilize the variance, then only you have to go for non-parametric test. The non-parametric tests are mainly Coulomb-Brown. This is one sample test. Wherever only one distribution is there, only 50 samples you have taken, 50 samples you have taken, only one group study. That time you have to see the whether normality is there or not. You can use or any deviation is there. So we will use for Coulomb-Brown stream-down test. When compared to student that Z test is there, or student T test, one sample test is there. This is not more. We are not going to test any hypothesis. Is one sample. Where in the Wilcoxon signed rank test, when it will be used, that I will explain. Mann-Whitney test, Kruskal-Valley test, Friedman rank test, chi-square test, Fisher-Exat test. In the correlation comes Spearman correlation. These are the things which you use for as a non-parametric test. We have to use at the last resort, not as a always. We should not. Most of the data follows metric only, parametric only. Very rarely we follow. We have to apply non-parametric test. Look at the comparison, sir. Non-parametric test, Wilcoxon signed rank test. Student T test, in the parametric test, corresponding student T test paired. Already sir explained, previous speaker, whenever the student T test pair test is not applicable, then you go for Wilcoxon signed rank test. I will explain in the data what difference makes if you wrongly apply. When you go to the student T test unpaired, unpaired means the two groups are there. Paired means pre and post data. We take same patient, measure 2 times, pre-assessment, before surgery, after surgery. We will see the VAS score, visual analog scale score, before surgery, after surgery. Any difference is there before and after, same patient, same set of patients, that is student T test. When two groups of patients are there, one group A given one treatment and a group B is given another treatment, they are independent, they are unpaired. Groups are unpaired, then you have to use student T test metric data. Whenever the data is metric, most of the data is metric. Even VAS score is also semi-metric data. But corresponding to the student metric unpaired data, we have to use Mann-Whitney U test. Mann-Whitney U test corresponding to when the student T test cannot be applied, when the data is not able to stabilize the variance. When you cannot stabilize the variance, that time only you have to choose Mann-Whitney U test. Otherwise, it will be giving wrong answer, wrong p-value. Same ANOVA test when you use 3 or more groups are there. When you are comparing 3 drugs, 3 drugs or more drugs, that time ANOVA test will be used in the metric data. For example, GFR is a metric data. You want to compare the GFR, mean GFR between the 3 groups are significantly different or not. That is the ANOVA test we will use. Same thing, when GFR is a parametric test, where suppose by chance if you use a TNF alpha, where mean and standard deviation 3 groups if you compute, standard deviation naturally it will be more because TNF alpha variability is more. Nature of parameter, it is called nature of parameter. So nature of parameter defines the variability of the parameter. The variability is based on the variability of the parameter. The sample size, previous sir was explaining how sample size is differing. Sample size, it is not blind. We cannot take always 30. it is not always 20. It is depends on your parameter whose variability matters. What is the variability of the parameter? According to that, sample size will vary. If, for example, I will tell you that cholesterol, total cholesterol and triglyceride, nature availability between the total cholesterol is very standardized. That is nature stable when compared to triglyceride, very variable that is. Suppose if you take a 30 patient to prove that it is significant, particular difference is to be significant in the per the total cholesterol, then if it is significant in the per the total cholesterol, ANOVA gives significant. Same 30 patient may not give significant for a triglyceride. So because it's more variable, we need a 35% patient, for example. We need a more number of patients to make it significant. So we cannot claim variable to the same sample size, same variable. What is your outcome variable? Based on that, you have to estimate the sample size. That sample size determines the significance. According to variability, you have to estimate the sample size. Sample size having a lot of assumptions and more number of subtests also available. For ANOVA test, corresponding Kruskal value. How to test all these things I will explain you. Kruskal value test. Repeated measures ANOVA. But that means we have a, you might have, you know that everything. Many times patients are coming weekly basis. Serum creatinine is measured baseline before treatment surgery, after surgery, after 1 week, after the second week, like that. Repeatedly measured. 2 times, 3, more than 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. That kind of situation, we have to use repeated measures ANOVA. It is similar to student t-test paid. Paid means pre and post. Only 2 times. Whereas repeated measures ANOVA, pre, post, post 1, post 2, like that. That 3 times more are there. Repeated measures ANOVA. ANOVA is particularly is extension of student t-test. Nothing, only small difference will come. Both ANOVA and student t-test. Even sometimes we can apply if variability is not there. I don't want to explain this. ANOVA also gives the same results. There is no variability in the data. So standardized variability is there. So ANOVA is extension of just student t-test. You need not to get confused over that. When student t-test failed, we have to use Wilcoxon rank test. Student t-test unpaired, Mann-Whitney test, ANOVA test, we have to use Kruskal value test. Corresponding repeated measures ANOVA, you have to use Friedman rank test. Chi-square test, there is no here. This chi-square test and Mach number test of 10, these are qualitative data analysis. They are all non-parametric. When Pearson correlation is there, you are using in the parametric test, correlation establishing, using a Pearson correlation. Here we have to use a Spearman correlation. Any softwares you can use, both are will be simultaneously available. So when you look at this is testing the distribution, normal distribution, or the so you can use Column-Rome-Simron test, Anderson-Darling goodness goodness of fit test, chi-square goodness of fit test. So many tests are there. Mainly Column-Rome-Simron test or Sapir-Whorf normality test you will be used. These are not correct actually. When I said the newborn baby birth weight, if you take only 10, it's a metric data. But to try to put only 10 patients or 10 newborn, try to fit the statistical model for that to whether it is normally fit or not, it will not normally fit. Small data will not come normally. So we should not say at the time when small data is there, you go for we'll go for the Mann-Whitney test or a non-parametric test is not correct. This is a metric data. You have to apply small sample test like student t-test is applicable for small sample test. You have to use it. We should not adopt this testing for normal distribution. You have to assume what is the mean, what is the standard deviation. You have to look into that only, not in the statistical parameter like this will give the erroneous results. When sample size is small, even birth weight was, as I said, it is a stable parameter, highly less variable birth weight. When you look at a standard deviation when compared to mean, when you apply this test, it will tell not normal. It will give the results as not normal. At that time, we cannot use a non-parametric test. So we have to use parametric only. Data is parametric. So a student t-test and other things, small test we can use. So we can say here, signed rank test. When student t-test paid is compared, when the metric data is there, we will use already we know how student t-test can be used. We cannot use the software directly. No. Okay. The student t-test is used when metric data is there. When you cannot make any, all the data is almost symmetric only, except was score or grading, any gradings are there. But most of the data which you measure are metric only. Metric data, for example, TNF alpha, cytokines, some other data may not give the stable variability. When you compute mean and standard deviation will be more than the mean at the time. So what you have to do such kind of data, we need to standardize again. We need to transformation, you have to do some treatment you have to do for the data. We try to transform like logarithm transfer, square root transformation. Then we will try to stabilize the variability. Then we apply the student t-test. After treatment, still data compute mean and standard deviation. Standard deviation still more than the mean after treatment also. Then you have to use non-parametric test. At the time you have to use a non-parametric test. Like when student t-test pair means pre and post data is there, we have to use Wilcoxon sign rank test instead of student t-test. Mann-Whitney U-test is similar to student t-test unpaired. It gives the p-value. Generally, when the data is normal, not normal data, metric data, if you apply the instead of applying student t-test, if you apply the Wilcoxon sign rank test, you will not get a year. You're supposed to get significant, you will not get significant here. That is a problem. You should not unnecessarily, if data is not metric data, you should not apply the non-metric test. Unnecessarily false positive errors will be there. Student t-test unpaired, ANOVA test, Kruskal-Wallis test. You know, sir already explained ANOVA test, how to apply ANOVA test. When 3 or more groups are there, more drugs we have to compare. Then only we have to go for ANOVA test. That corresponding to that Kruskal-Wallis test, we have to use all the softwares available. Wasser test is there, Wasser stat is there, online statistical software. We can use online software statistical. Tomorrow, if you want, anyway, class is there. I will at the time I will use the online this one. Correct examples for this. Repeated measures.
Dr. Suresh.
Yes, sir.
At the end of the.
Thank you, Dr. KP Suresh. That was a wonderful talk.
Yes, sir.
What we could get from your talk was parametric data application is preferred.
Yes, sir.
When parametric data cannot be applied, we can go for the non-parametric
Yes, sir.
data application
Yes, sir.
or test. And you mentioned about the 7 different type of non-parametric data
Yes, sir.
and way to apply them.
Yes,
That was quite informative. Thank you.
Yes.
If there are any questions, would like to take them now or.
Thank you, Dr. Suresh, for your
Yes,
nice lecture.
Yes, sir.
Can histogram help us to differentiate whether we can apply the parametric versus non-parametric test?
Sir, it is my experience in data analysis more than 15,000. I helped so many doctors and other people. This one, sir. Now this non-parametric, parametric, only one difference, sir. You just say most of the data measured are metric only. They are units, age in years, serum creatinine mg per dl. They're all units measured. So when you look at, you have to calculate the mean and standard deviation because statistics is a science of variability. So only we are not looking mean, standard deviation only. Standard deviation is very important for us. For example, you see this slide, sir. Here, place one when the person is crossing the river, place 1 is 3 feet, place 2 is 5 feet, place 3 is 7 feet. A person crossing the river, he is having average will calculate. It is 5. When this person height is 5.5, and he'll think that he will cross the river. When he goes to the 7 feet there, he will drown into the river. Actually, if we take a standard deviation 2, if we consider otherwise, that's why statistics is nothing but variability. If you consider 2 as a standard deviation, 5 plus 3 is varying from 3 to 7. You will think there is some place where 7 feet also there. I should not cross the river. That's why variability is more important for the statistics. So
actually, there is a question from Dr. Shrikant Hegde. Kindly read it out, sir.
Yes.
You can take up the questions.
Kindly read it out, Dr. C.B. Patil.
Yeah.
Shrikant Hegde's.
Chat box.
Yes.
Yeah. Can we do all these non-parametric tests on Excel?
Yes, sir. All statistics are available in Excel sheet, non-parametric test also.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And what is the minimum number of samples in each group to do ANOVA, RECA?
ANOVA.
I think Dr. Dennis must have
already answered it.
That was the previous one.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think
there's a question from Dr. Prabhakar Shetty and Dr. Naveen Khade also there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Dr. Prabhakar Shetty asks, could you please explain when to use chi-square test?
Myself, sir. Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, this chi-square test, for example, you see the datum.
No, explain in the words, sir.
No, this look into data also. This is when the data, see, when you are having a data like this, when you are having a data, which some data cannot qualitative, which cannot be measured as a mean and standard deviation. For example, you say gender. If you take a mean and standard deviation, we can code male and 1 and female 1, gender, mean gender is 1.5, we cannot tell, or 1.2, we cannot tell. So when the data can be presented as categorical data, number and percentage. So data can be presented either 2 ways or 3 ways maximum. Number and percentages and mean and standard deviation. You can refer any article, data will be presented as number and percentages or means and standard deviation. Any metric data is there, mean plus or minus standard deviation. Whenever the non-metric data is there, they will be presented as number and percentages. For example, number of side effects, number of complications, they all can be presented as number and percentages. Frequency data, count data. When count data you want to compare between the 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, then you have to use chi-square test.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Dr.
So we
Iyengar,
can
kindly take
conclude.
over, sir.
Dr. Cyril, conclude. Can you conclude, Dr. Cyril Patel, in one?
Yeah, yes, sir. I think as I could understand,
Yes.
when the sample size is small, when the distribution is non-normal, and as the means and standard deviation are too varied, at that time only this non-parametric test can be applied. I think that way I can understand this subject. I think when depending on the number of groups, I think you have to use various formulas. I think that's what I could understand from this lecture. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Patel and Dr. G. Shetty.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Suresh,
Yes, sir.
we got to the last session of the day.
Yes, sir.
I request Professor D. Srinivas and Professor Nagamani to kindly take over the next session.